Going live when I didn't intend to. I meant to double check everything because it's slow this morning. I just want to rant this morning. If you don't know who I am, I'm Suzanne Tidkemeyer. I wrote for Pathos for nearly 10 years, a column called No Longer Quivering. I'm thinking about restarting a site so that I can rant about things in the written word. Okay, so what am I talking about today? I've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. First, hit like, subscribe, whatever. If the spirit moves you. If not, don't worry about it. Don't harass, bully anybody I'm going to talk about today, even that troll. Just don't do it. Okay, I just want to jump in and say real quick, thank you for watching. I'm going to get the Duggar stuff out of the way first because I know a lot of people are going to tune in for that. And then when I start ranting about healthcare, they're going to drop off. So let's do that first. Josh Duggar has now in Seagoville, Texas. He finally did make it to the one federal prison that's not too far from here where there's this sexual offender treatment unit. I hope that he takes advantage of it. Oh, gee. Forgive me for mangling your name. Gene. Hey, Karma Kid. So he made it there. He's in Seagoville, Texas, which is near Dallas. They said he settled in there. He's settling in. It's a minimum low security prison. So he really lucked out in a lot of ways. I was kind of hoping that he would end up in a supermax. I know it's hateful to say. It's hateful of me to want it, but I feel like he needs punishment. I need punishment. And I'm not sure putting him in a minimum security prison, low security prison. Can't remember if it was minimum or low, probably low. To receive treatment is going to be the answer. We've seen him go through treatment after treatment after treatment, supposed treatment after treatment, and not have anything. And he won't even admit, hey, Carolyn, he won't even admit what he did. He still says he's innocent. It was those awful, awful other people that put the child porn on his computer. So he won't even admit to his guilt. So I don't know how rehab is going to help him at all. You have to be able to admit what you did and move forward in order to heal. And I don't see him ever being humble enough to do that. So I have lots of violent thoughts about what I would have hoped for him. And I know that's wrong. You shouldn't wish bad on anybody. But hey, it's Josh. He's done a lot of heinous things. Amy Duggar King. Now that to me is the interesting one. Why is that the interesting one? Well, because she is having a heck of a time right now on Twitter. You know, a lot of people have called Amy, I'm trying to pull it up. They've called Amy Famey, a lot of people through the years. And it does seem like she is one of these folks that was kind of always kind of around the edges of Duggartown. I don't think there's any hope for him. I don't either, Karma. Anything. So Amy's tried on the edges of Duggartown to be famous a number of times. She's been in and out of the show a few times. She tried to be a country music singer, and I can tell you that is a very rough thing to break into, and she apparently didn't have the contacts or anything else to break through. One of the things that's so weird about the music industry is you can be the best singer in the world, but unless you have the contacts, unless you have the right people in your corner and the money, you ain't going nowhere. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it so many times with so many people I've known through the years that just showing up in Nashville and saying, hey, I'm a Duggar cousin, I want to be famous is not good enough. So I'm not saying that's what she did because I wasn't 100% sure, but a lot of people have said that about her. So on Amy's good side, she threw Jill Dillard a shower this week. A shower for the fifth shoot. I'm adding kids to Duggar girls. the third soon to be born child of Jill and Derek Dillard. Another little boy for them, a third little boy. So none of the Duggars came to the shower at all, is my understanding. I didn't take a look at too much of it. There's all kinds of crazy gossip going on right now about Amy. Amy's pregnant, Amy's not pregnant, blah, blah, blah. And that troll has pretty much put a certain person on blast. I kind of laugh about that because she put her so much on blast that TV shows Ace has written about it, and that's not so good. So basically, what I was looking at earlier was Amy had said something when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. She said, praise Jesus, like everyone else. And said something when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. She said, praise Jesus, like everyone else in Fundytown. And then she turned around and KJ started coming for her. That troll started coming for her hard, exposing tax liens, all kinds of different, very not nice things at all. So now it's pretty interesting to watch Amy's feed. I can't watch it that much because she's got me blocked because I said something to her back when she was constantly clickbaiting over Josh. I thought that was kind of tacky. And I said something to her. She blocked me. Okay, so what's being said is that Trolls fans are coming out in droves to bash Amy. The anti-troll community is coming out hard to bash cousin Amy. It is just a S show like I have never seen before. And just those few comments, there's so much shade being thrown. You'd think they were in a wood full of trees. So it's kind of funny just sitting back and watching that because I've got a lot of people blocked that fight like crazy because I just can't take that anymore. My brain just is like, ugh, when people start fighting like crazy online. So there you go. So here's the thing about the Duggars. I don't know what's going to happen with them in the future. Michelle and Jim Bob are supposedly selling off property. I don't know what's going to happen, but here's the thing. They are retreating back to what they should have been all along, which was nobody's. Whatever happens to Josh will happen. Being in prison, even a minimum security prison, is no walk in the park. So whatever happens to him, I'm sure it's going to be unpleasant and drawn out. We know he's got to serve at least 10 years before he can come up for parole. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there as well. But this morning, I really wanted to rant about healthcare. And one more rant, slight Fundytown rant, before I go into healthcare. Carissa Collins, I don't know if you know who that is. Okay, so Carissa and Jill Rodriguez and everybody else has been verklempen positively over the SCOTUS decision. Okay, I expected that. I expected all the praise Jesuses that you could come up with, and there were a ton. But now Carissa's taking it a little bit farther. She had a thing this morning. She was talking about all these companies that have offered to pay for the travel for their employees that need to have a procedure done. She's trying to organize a boycott of Apple. Good luck with that, girl. Almost everybody I know in the world, even Christians, have iPhones, iPads, have Macs. So she is asking everybody to stop supporting Apple. And this is the thing that made me laugh the hardest about that. So iPhone and Mac Christians, are we protesting or giving our money to businesses who say, forget the Bible and support the spirit of murder, of witchcraft, and the devil? That is presuming a stupid company has anything to say about morality at all. Usually it doesn't. This is the closest I can think of they've ever had to say anything or do anything in the morality realm. So corporations are kind of like animals in a way. They generally don't care about your religion, and they're not going to make decisions based upon your religion. They don't care about your religion. And thinking you can pressure them, a huge multinational corporation with zillions of consumers, you can influence them by throwing away your cracked iPad. Oh, hell no, you can't. So that's my Funky Town rant for this morning. But the thing I wanted to talk about was the thing I was dealing with this morning. Most of you know I've got mast cell. It hasn't been a walk in the park. It's been a pain in the ass. And one of the things that is the biggest pain in the butt that I learned this year was for my VPAP machine, I can buy all the supplies from Amazon for a third of what I was paying in copays to a healthcare company. Now, why on earth would you ever buy anything again from a healthcare company if you can go online at Amazon and buy it for a fraction? I had people in Costa Rica that I'm good friends with, other Americans, and say, hey, could you order me X, Y, and Z? Could you get X, Y, and Z for me? Because of the same thing, the same damn thing. So apparently Amazon is now a real option. I'm glad, because I would much rather give Amazon that money, a big multinational corporation, doesn't, than a bloated healthcare company. There is no reason on earth that healthcare should ever cost as much as it does in the States. My old critical care pulmonologist used to talk about that. You can shut that door if you want, Andy, coming back. Critical care pulmonologist just used to say that there is no reason that healthcare should ever cost that much. I loved that man. He used to waive my copays because I was in there every week or two for my shots, for my Xolair injections. And he was already billing the insurance for a butt ton of money. So this morning, one thing I've been trying to do, I talked about it yesterday. I've been trying to engage a lot of people who are on the right-hand side. I haven't been trying to engage them. I got to say, I've been trying to find a way to engage with them. Let me rephrase that. And this morning, a girlfriend of mine was talking to somebody on Twitter who was obviously on the extreme right-hand side, who was wanting to throw shade at the Canadian healthcare system. And the friends say, I can see where you're going with this. Well, I started actually talking to the person and explaining the differences between Canada's healthcare system, the US, and I haven't really moved on to other companies yet, but other countries yet, but I've started to explain there are big differences. I did say it's very different in Germany, okay, because German healthcare, back when I lived there, which was a long time ago, like 30, let me see, how old are my kids now? 33 years ago, I moved in from Germany. But then their healthcare system was the best I'd ever seen. It was a gold standard, even then, compared to the US. I had way more preventative care there than I'd ever experienced in the US, even then. Now, I'm living in Costa Rica and I'm experiencing the Costa Rican healthcare system, and I'm seeing their socialized medicine versus their private. And the private is a way to go. It's the gold standard. Most of the time, it's much better than anything you could be getting on the CAHA, the socialized medicine part. The CAHA is very bare bones. If you go into a CAHA facility, there's not going to be a lot of equipment. Now, a lot of doctors first coming out of medical school have to go serve time at CAHA before they can move to a private institution. So there's that. And I'm not going to say it's bad healthcare. Let's just say it's basic. It's basic healthcare. If you need basic healthcare, it's the way to go. Now, it suffers the same problems that Canada has, which is if you need anything that's out of the ordinary, hey, that Amber chick, if you need anything that's out of the ordinary, you might get it, but it's going to be a wait. You're going to have to wait to see a specialist. You're going to have to wait to have procedures. You're just going to have to wait. That's just kind of how it is with them. That's how it is with Costa Rica. That's how it is with Canadian socialized medicine. But here's the thing about socialized medicine. It may be bare bones in places. You may have to wait. But where the rubber meets the road, if you were having an emergency, you will be cared for, and you will be cared for appropriately. They will give you the kind of health care that you need. Maybe not a fancy ER, but that's the way it is. And after having my little experience with the hospital that shall not be named, because Costa Rica has very stringent laws on defamation, public defamation, that's the only bad experience I've had with healthcare in Costa Rica. And it was just the hospital. The hospital was substandard. And they were the only one of the hospitals in the area that had a bed for me. So that should tell you something. So next time I know to tell them to life flight me to San Jose. It would have been the same amount of time. So all these differences. So this person kept saying, but you can't see anybody quickly. You can't see anybody quickly with Canada. And I said, that is true. And when I was on Xolair, when they were first experimenting with it, and then when I got on it later, it was not available in Canada. And when they finally added it to Canadian medicine, it was 100% out of pocket. It was not something that their socialized medicine carried at all. I don't know if they've ever added Xolair. It's extremely expensive. Healthcare in the U.S. at least will approve it for you. It's just you have to jump through some major hoops to have that happen. They'll do it if you can prove that you really need it, that you are out of options. So that's a point in favor of the U.S. Now, I don't know what that's like now. It may have all changed. If it has, please feel free to tell me in the comments. Oh, you're full of shit, because it's been over 5 years since I've lived in the States. I don't know. Everything may have changed a lot. But it was interesting as I drew this person out, and the longer I talked to them, the more obvious it was that their problem was with socialized medicine because of the word socialize. It wasn't that they objected to people having medicine or treatment. They objected to the fact that everybody got it, that it was socialist. Socialism and communism frequently get confused in Funky Town. I don't know why that is. Socialism is us having fire departments and police and roads and things. Believe it or not, that also falls under socialism. Communism is a very vastly different animal, very different. And I know there are a lot of people that don't want to believe that, but it's true. Communism, there is no other options. It is the state way or nothing. Socialism is a little bit different than that. I'm going to have to pull up the article I wrote on No Longer Quivering about this very issue. So this is the sort of thing that we need to do if we're going to keep speaking to the other side, if we're going to keep speaking into Fundy Town and saying, hey, because I know as many of them get procedures as women who are what they would call heathens or reprobates. The same percentage of women get these gynecological procedures that they're trying to end. They're trying desperately to end. So keeping that dialogue open, I think, is going to be important. And I think that the only way that we're going to be able to do it is to do it kindly and to engage them. Like this morning, I had to engage this person who was talking about Canadian healthcare sucking compared to American. And I just had to say, no, it doesn't suck. It's just different. Well, why are so many Canadians coming to the U.S.? I said, well, because they can get in to see a specialist sooner. That is the whole point of that. If they can get in to see a specialist sooner, that's the name of the game. If you got something big going on, and I know, because with my with some of my healthcare issues, seeing the specialist earlier, not later, is always a good idea. So I've only spoken 20 minutes, but I gotta tell you guys, I'm exhausted today. I'm having a bad cell day. I'm gonna go lay on the couch and crochet. I don't really know why. I don't understand what's going on with me. But guess what? I'm going to. And I had to laugh. Yesterday I got up and I washed all the sheets in the bed because the dog had been laying on it. I'm mildly allergic to dogs, to short-haired dogs, and very allergic to fuzzy-haired dogs. And slept on those nice clean sheets last night. This morning she got back in my bed. Can't win for losing. So that's my day. I hope you all have a better day than I've been having so far, and you have you just have a wonderful day today, or at least a very calm and peaceful day. And don't let anybody upset you who's going to get in your face and argue with you about anything. Find different ways to communicate and find new roads in the communication. I'm certainly trying. See you guys later.